Boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. On Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. Ho, ho, ho.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's just 228 days until Christmas 2023. And today, well, we're here to talk about what did you like about The Mandalorian Season 3. We're in between shows right now. We'll be starting, of course, the lead up to Ahsoka very, very soon. There's all kinds of news on that front as well. We'll talk about news more tomorrow. Perhaps some of you would like to join today, we could do that as well. But the thought today is, what did you like about The Mandalorian Season 3? I know a lot of people have criticisms. There are things that didn't play well for some folks, and that's okay. You know, if there's part of The Mandalorian Season 3 that you didn't like, you can share that too. But the way this works is, if you want to share a criticism, we go to the couching it in 2 likes. You say a like, the thing that you're critical of, and then you have to follow it with another like. So it's like a like sandwich. So you can put the dislike in there. It's got to be in the middle. So make sure that you couch it with 2 positives, right? So if you'd like to join this stream, you can say more than 1 positive. Maybe there's a whole string of positive things that you have to say about The Mandalorian Season 3. You can join us, and you could talk about the things that you liked, however long that list might be. But the only rule is, if you have a criticism, and I know many of us do, right? If you have a criticism, you can share that. You absolutely can share that, but you have to couch it with 2 likes, all right? And I have posted the link to join this stream. If you'd like to join us here to talk about The Mandalorian Season 3, the things that you've liked, you can find the link to join either on Patreon. If you're one of our patrons, you can find it there. You can find it on YouTube in the community tab on the channel, so that you can you can find the link there. And if you go to our Discord, there's a members only channel that you can see for Guardians of the Whills. And for today's show, there's a chat thread. And in that thread, you can find the link to join the show today. And Mike Porter, I know I sprung this on you. I didn't give you a chance to give me a Star Wars dad joke, but you gave me some Star Wars dad jokes for last week that I didn't use. I figured I would go back and grab maybe both of those. So I know you gave me 3. I think I only used 1. So I'll go back and grab the Mike Porter dad jokes that you sent me last week, and we'll share that here today. So just to kind of start it off, I went back and I started a rewatch of The Mandalorian Season 3, and I was doing it just to watch them back to back to back. And I will tell you all that watching those episodes back to back to back is the way to do it. That is the way to enjoy the season. You see the story arcs much more completely that way. And I know I'm only about halfway through episode 3, but I watched 1, 2, and part of 3 and it is going very, very well. I'm remembering things that I loved that I forgot, like Tongs Days. Am I right? Right. We got that. We You can use that going forward, and we have somebody on the road. I see driving. I don't know if it's safe to talk or not, but I'll bring in Nerd Mafia. How you doing, my friend? Let's see if we can hear. Eyes on the road. No, I can't hear you. There you are.
Muted, my bad. I'm just here to represent the 2% really quick. Bo-Katan's booty. That's
Very good.
my favorite part of the show.
Very good. Very good. Yes, of course, from the interview she did with Christian Harloff, the 2% now has a whole new meaning. Absolutely. And from season 3, is there anything within the show itself that is a big takeaway, something that you thought was a highlight of the season?
I'm gonna go negative here. So we were rewatching season 2, like parts of it, me and my wife, a few days ago. When you go back and actually watch season 2 after watching the feeling is just in the body different. Like season 2 feels like this is the Mando. 3 a little bit wonky, but to sandwich that in, we'll talk about how just the fact that we had Bo-Katan in the show at all, like it went, as you've talked about before too, getting like more Mandalorian lore. That part was cool. So I worked it in there by your formula.
Good job. Good job. Perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
All about that booty though.
Very good. Very good. Well, I see you're driving. You headed out for lunch. You running to the border, or what's the plan?
I just finished lunch. I'm just the one site I have to do today, and I'm probably done.
All right.
Well, man,
thanks for calling in. Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, good point there. Getting more Mandalorian lore, as well as Bo-Katan in the season, setting up for perhaps a spin-off show or some other content involving the Mandalorians and Bo-Katan. And now having some context for that is certainly important to storytelling going forward. Thank you.
All right.
Catch you later. Right. Okay. Perfect. Well done. Driving, we stay safe. Got to keep your eyes on the road when you're driving and joining the live stream. Well done, Nerd Mafia. That is a big point. And again, going back to the first 3 episodes, I'd say the first 2 episodes in the intro to episode 3 is really a continuation of Din Djarin's story arc. We see he is the apostate, right, that we've seen from the first couple of seasons, right, especially from season 2. He's the apostate, and then in the Book of Boba Fett, when it's like you need to go get baptized in the living waters of Mandalore, and good luck with that because it's all been destroyed. We get to see him carry through with that, and we see him get back into good graces with the covert and the folks that season 3 for sure is really heavy on Bo-Katan's story arc. At the same time, we did get a very nice the first 2 episodes, 2 in intro, is very much Din Djarin's arc to coming back into the covert and being redeemed. So that is there as well. Hey, we've got another regular guest in the back. What do they call that? The back room. We're going to bring him in to the stream. Jedi Mike.
Hey,
hey! I love the Chewbacca
it's
shirt.
live and on in this house.
That's fantastic. So, season 3 of Mandalorian. What are some highlights for you?
Well, for me, the whole fun Clone Wars storytelling.
Yeah,
like I can see Din's arc as clearly as I see anybody else's arc over the whole season, but it just had a very fun Clone Wars storytelling thing for me.
Yeah, I got well. I was thinking about that when I was doing the rewatch. How in the Clone Wars, a lot of the episodes went in different directions and involved entirely different characters, entirely different stories.
That adventure.
Yeah, but they were universe building, world building, right? Giving us the full context of what's going on during that era. And here we're starting. It's, I think one of the things that season 3 did much better than seasons 1 or 2 is build more of that universe. What's going on out there? Other than just in the bounty hunting guild and this father son, wolf and cub kind of story arc, we've now started to world build and see the galaxy as in a larger sense, right?
In a generic sense, I mean, we thought we were going to get a little bit more. Ooh, this tribe, this moon, different Mandalorian people coming together. That was our expectations for me. But we are, again, I've said it in different streams with you, we're getting the infrastructure of what is going to be coming with different areas in Star Wars universes, or God forbid we use the world multiverse with world between world. I mean, they're just laying infrastructure and they're being very vague and slow. It's the long game, I think, for these writers and the Filoniverse.
Well, right, and if you raise another good point, the long game. I think the Mandalorian, and it's a lot of this is all just fan speculation, right? We none of us sat in the rooms and knew everything from the beginning, other than what we were shared about the inspiration for Jon Favreau being Paper Moon for the story. But that story has been told. So
right, but then we got the Conan story. Don't forget, you and I are some of the only people in the chat that care about the King Conan thing still. Or some people don't. Some people don't have all these discussions and these many places across the Star Wars realms like Santa and I are blessed to be able to do, I guess,
Yeah. Well, and so you talk about the long game, though. If that story is done, then what's the rest of it, right? What's the rest of the story? Is there any more story to tell? Is there anything to, or are we done, right? Is it a limited series and we're finished? Or do we have a bigger story to tell and going to explore that? And you froze on me for a second, Mike.
Oh, it said Paper Moon check. No, I was just I was being quiet because she was making noise. No, I was saying I can go get a Mandalorian t-shirt that I got either from PacSun or something else, but it was Star Wars legit from the first season, and it's really cute because it's like comic panels almost with Din and Grogu. And I just think we're going to get season 4, season 5. It's still Din and Grogu adventures. This one was in the frame of reference of maybe like a Clone Wars type of thing. And maybe season 1 and 2 at a different prequels frame or OT frame for you, however you saw it. I don't know.
Do you think it's fair to say that the scope of the series has changed since it launched? Do you think that's fair?
Sure. I mean, I'm a big Lost fan, right? And so sometimes they write these series as season 1 and 2 are going to mirror each other, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. But you only get that together if the writers work out, and iMagic Maker and people better than me understand that stuff. But yeah, I think they could still have a season 4, 5, 6 of Mandalorian that is Din and Grogu adventures, because we can have Grogu adventures leading into these Rey's training, outer space, other space, whatever they call it.
Right. And that's another good point. So Mandalorian season 3, we don't want to lose scope of the show, right? The scope today, we're talking about what did we love about Mandalorian season 3. I think we have,
for example, right? His training arc, like season 1, season 2, season 3, the Eyes of Grogu's training arc, right? I mean, Look at how we look at Rebels. You look at different people's arcs over 4 seasons now. Whose show was it? Oh, it was Ezra's show. No, it was Sabine's show. I mean,
Right, right. And we've also set up other shows, like the Book of Boba Fett, like it or dislike it, whatever, right? It ties into the Mandalorian. Ahsoka, from all the reports we've gotten from Making Star Wars and Bespin and others, we know there's going to be overlap with the Mandalorian and Skeleton Crew that's going to tie into, in some degree, this same Mando-verse era, and we're going to see those kind of stories developed. And so, not only did Mandalorian season 3 deliver, I think, for Mandalorian, but it also helped set up the world in these other series to come.
Yeah, and not just other series, across all kinds of plots. I mean, even if they don't show up in a series, Zeb and Carson Teva being at a base. I mean, you know, I have big Star Wars dreams. I was telling Josh yesterday that I think that they should turn Tokyo 2025 into announcing a new Star Wars land there that's a different spaceport than Batuu, and turn keep Batuu at Walt Disney World and Hollywood Studios because it's kind of small, and make the Batuu in Disneyland a little different, and the one in Paris. Then they can have different spaceport hotels and just branch it out in a more generic way. That's how I see them doing it. And people don't want the MCU expansion of Star Wars, but it's the Force. It's not the MCU. It's not you. You're not in control, people.
Hey, you raise another good point. I want to highlight some chats in our Discord. So Dawn K gave some information. She has her positive, negative, positive sandwich in Discord. She says she wasn't going to be able to weigh in tomorrow. Her first point, the positive, was Din reverently taking his creed again. You can see how pensive he is and the weight of it. So when he arrives there in episode 2 with Bo-Katan, he's stepping into the water. He's saying the creed as he steps into the water, and how seriously and reverently he's taking that. So that was the first. Her negative in the middle. The editing was a little disappointing and disjointed. Some cutscenes. So Dawn is mentioning some of the editing from within the episode was somewhat disappointing and disjointed. Then the last point, her other positive, was the Dins. So now you've got Din Djarin and Din Grogu, right? You've got the Dins battling together as father and son, right? Having each other's backs, and the promise of more episodic adventures in the future. So thank you for that, Dawn. That's fantastic. We do have the promise, perhaps when we see how Mandalorian season 3 ended, that season 4 could go back to some episodic adventures of the Clan Mudhorn, right? Clan Mudhorn. That would be great. And then Baymax gave me his positive, negative, positive sandwich, right? And here he says, positive, first one. The N1 Grogu popping his head up alone makes season 3 worth it. So the cuteness of that. Negative, episode 6 should be erased from canon as an April Fool's holiday special episode. Ooh, that's a hot take. You know, especially after seeing Meg's video today, where Bo-Katan, Katie Sackhoff pointed out in episode 6 was kind of critical to Bo-Katan's development, seeing Jack Black's character as an elected leader gave her a different perspective, and coming out of that gave her a different kind of mindset to becoming the next ruler of Mandalore. So after Meg's video today, it makes it tough to say you got to erase the entire one, especially considering episode 6 has a beginning and an end that kind of important So
All right, I'm going to
there's
try to be sarcastic. I'm going to say, Santa, don't get all high-minded. Let me hate on the pop culture part of Star Wars.
yeah, yeah. But there is another pop culture thing coming. I saw it posted today. But let me hit his last positive. The one moment of Grogu squeezing the Anzellan, the Babu Frick species, was worth the cringe of episode 6. So bad baby, no squeezy. Very well done. I loved that episode and seeing it, like he's squished down in that their living area, and they're working on the IG, and sometimes he's not picking up what they're saying. So Grief Karga starts uh, interpreting for him, and then he's understanding, but Grief Karga continues interpreting. It's hilarious. It's really, really well done. Let's see. We've got a. So is it so? Chilling in the basement. Yeah, you could say it a negative, but you've got to be couched in 2 positives. So, I'll highlight your comments, but you got to couch it in 2 positives. They can't be underhanded.
You have to have 5 and 5 in between, or on the sides of the 7. Anyway.
Yeah, you can't. No underhanded backhanded compliments either. It's got to be.
May I mention Dawn's first point about the reverence? I really thought the mysticism of the mythosaur, and it might have let some people down, but I saw that whole arc for the season in the same way you're now saying. If you didn't get the political and/or part of that episode and then the arc of Bo for the season, maybe you just missed out.
Yeah. Well, and again, here, I'll take Mike off the screen for just a minute. He got a call. It's worth pointing out that we all have different tastes and preferences. I mentioned this the other day when I was talking with Jason and Meg, that if it's not my job to try to change your mind. If you didn't like something, you didn't like it. And I can't change your tastes. I can't change your attitude or disposition. It belongs to you. And so if none of it worked for you, that's fair. And hope that something else comes along that you do love. And it bears mentioning that the things that you have loved with Star Wars from the past, whether it's the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, parts of Mando, not other parts, whatever it is, those still belong to you. Those you still have. And I saw today that Disney is saying, hey, they're going to maybe take some content off of the platform, Disney Plus. And I don't know, it was really raised, a good point was made. You can't buy any of these series in physical media yet, right? I've not seen where they've released any of it in physical media. So if they take some of it away, not that they're going to take the Mandalorian away or any episodes or any parts of it, that's not going to happen. But it's nice to be able to own it. And I remember back in the day where they would do theatrical re-releases of Disney movies. And so like Cinderella back in theaters, we're taking it out of the vault and we're going to have it in theaters for a limited time. You have to come and see it in the theater. This will be your last chance. And then they would take it out. Or they would put the VHSs for sale or the DVDs for sale or whatever the case might be. They're releasing it from the vault in this special, and it would go on cycles where things would come in and out. I suspect, and we haven't seen the details of it yet, that could be the case. So that's worth bringing up as we bring it up. Hey, Chilling in the Basement's doing a great job. You're doing a great job. He says the pirates were fun. And there's a story out there that the one pirate from The Mandalorian Season 3, and I thought the pirates were really well done, including the Pirate King, Shard, Gorian Shard. Fantastic character. And I am absolutely sure that we will see Gorian Shard in cosplay coming soon to a city near you. Somebody's going to make that outfit to be a cosplay outfit. That's happening. So you're getting other content that's going to be carried on for for generations, decades, out of this season 3. Gorian Shard was only in a couple of episodes, and I'll guarantee you that we see Gorian Shard in cosplays for however long, right? For however long, because people, that's just a fun kind of outfit that somebody can make, and whether you like the character or not, some people loved him. And I can guarantee you're going to see Gorian Shard. Not only that, but we know that the one guy is going to be in the Skeleton Crew. And I saw a tweet about this, and Meg even picked up on it. He is not the main antagonist. He's not the main bad guy. He's not the main villain. He is a character in Skeleton Crew. You will see him in Skeleton Crew as a bit of a foil, but he's not the main bad guy, from what I understand. It's possible he could be, but that's not the report so far. TVC Mackin, happy Tongs Day to you. Thursday. I don't know. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. The dive into Mandalorian culture was awesome. Absolutely. We got a lot more Mando culture, a lot more Mando lore was developed in here. And Brian Stone, I like how it ended. I wasn't sure how Dim was going to get back to bounty hunting. I still have that question. And we got Mike back. I still have the question about getting back into bounty hunting with your main ship being the N1. He's got to get a new ship, right, Mike?
I mean, if he gets back into bounty hunting, but my contention is maybe he just gets into the whole being like a sheriff, but in that new outer space rim, that outer area, like maybe they're going to that, right? Because the Mandalorians are going to be on Navarro. There's going to be someone on Navarro to watch Navarro. He's not going to do that job, I don't think, will he? Right?
No,
that would be part of the adventure. He and Grogu are going to go out. That would be part of the adventure. So I think it might necessarily be bounty hunting anymore, but I don't know.
Well, he's saying that he could work with the New Republic in helping police the area, right? And take little under the table jobs.
More of a reconnaissance.
Yeah,
maybe.
but even in that
role.
Yeah, even in that, you got to have somewhere. What's he supposed to do if he arrests somebody or apprehends somebody? He's out there somewhere, right? You capture somebody somewhere. What do you do with them with the N1?
What's the probability of Star Wars introducing a new crew and giving him a ghost type ship that's even bigger? Like, if they're going to have 4, 5, and 6, why not? I mean, look, people get frustrated with that. We could come back in season 4 and have 50% new characters. Because that leads to something really special that we don't understand. We're so privileged to have this time to talk about the niches in between books and stuff. We never got to do this when we were growing up. Thank God we had choose your own adventures, but
right. I mean, we did have it, but it was in much smaller context, right? Like between movies, it was your buddies you run into on the street, or you go to lunch with. It wasn't anything like this. I certainly wouldn't be hanging out with somebody who lives in Southern California on a Thursday afternoon in the middle of a work day, right? That just wouldn't be happening. But now it does. Now it does. I thought that we were going to maybe see that in season 3. You saw Mando and Grogu, right? You saw Din and Grogu, Din Djarin. Now it's super confusing, right? Because now they're both Dins. But anyway, you saw Din Djarin and Grogu and R5 traveling along with Bo-Katan in what's the name of her ship? The I knew it just a second ago, but then
I don't know. But they have it at the Micro series in Target. They have that ship. It's really nice.
Yeah, you saw them traveling around together. That's a perfect kind of vessel for that. They can travel around and do missions together. And the Gauntlet. Thank you, Novak. Thank you. The Gauntlet. Yes. My brain just kind of blocked it right when I went to say it. The Gauntlet.
Novak can share appropriate things at times.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
That works out as a great ship. It's Mandalorian. It's several crew members can be in it, It's you can also fly it. I mean, Bo-Katan was flying it by herself. She didn't need a crew, but it gave somebody a job. Everybody could contribute. And I thought, well, here we go. We've got a family unit now, right?
Right.
We've got
Talking about her dad and getting down with Grogu and stuff, but I just no Bo Din. I just don't want Bo Din. And no Mara Jade. Have I said that enough in the chat? I'm sorry, I'm so obsessive compulsive, but
well, I do think there's a place for Bo and Din to move forward as a couple, whether Mike likes it or not. But anyway, other things from season 3 that folks enjoyed. Certainly the lore of Mandalorian lore. We know that one of the things that kind of got some criticism during the season was this planet they were on where the turtle gator attacked and then the dragon attacked. And there's certainly some story elements in that are confusing. But at the same time, if you go back to Mandalore and you see some of the creatures there, and as the Mandalorian lore kind of unveiled itself through the season, not only was the mythosaur a giant beast that could kill plenty of people, but so were some of the other monsters that were there, including the one that we saw with the big club tail that attacked in the middle of the season. So Mandalorian culture evolved through existing with beasts that will kill you. So for them to be on a planet, on a beach where beasts can kill you, is part of like their ancestry. So
yeah, they were ready. They were ready for the hunt when one of their kids got captured. Like no problem.
Right. And again, I think there's plenty to criticize there, like in the fly off and you don't take shots at it, but yet it's still going to get away. And if it gets away, then it's going to kill your kid anyway. And then you get there and then you wait for a day and then you go up. But like all of those kind of things are weird.
Yeah, that's too much. I mean, look, not every person in the 501st is a perfect shot, and not every stormtrooper is an idiot. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, come on, Mandalorian tribes are different. Like, give them a break. They're hunters, right? They've got their creed. It's spiritual, I think. Like, you know, like I said, again, the reverence to the code or whatever the creed is kind of cool.
Yeah. And it's a fun episode. Even though there's the logical questions start to come in, some things that you have to suspend with Star Wars a little bit are some of these logical questions.
Yeah, so, but the monsters, you were saying, sorry, the Mythosaur, were you disappointed at the end of the season with the Mythosaur? Well, and not riding in on the Mythosaur, because maybe they're showing us, it just came to me, iMagic Maker, again, understands this stuff. Like, maybe they were seeding all these big monsters, not just because it was a fun Clone Wars type of plot over, you know, fun episodes over the season. Maybe they were seeding that because we're going to get Mythosaur in the 4. I don't know.
Well, maybe down the road, absolutely. It could be in a comic. It could be in a spin-off series. It could be in a novel. It could be anywhere. And the thing about the Mythosaur, the only disappointment to me was what we understood from some of the leaks and things that came through our friend Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net was that we were going to see the Mythosaur come to the in that finale, break through the ground and cause havoc, and that somehow Bo-Katan was going to overcome it, or it was going to be overcome. She would ride it, or maybe something like that. All kinds of things like that. But that didn't happen, and I can see just when what I've talked with Jason before, that he gets incomplete pictures, right? Somebody's working on a piece and they know that this beast is rising up through the ground. Well, they don't know what that beast is. They don't know A from B. And so could it have been
right now? Even right now, if you do not hang out at the Making Star Wars show, like Santa's a mod, like if you don't hang out, then you don't understand Jason's process. Making Star Wars is journalism, and he's transparent, and he tells you his process as he receives stuff. So if they're on set and they see a big prop coming and it looks like a monster and they see Bo, he's telling you that
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype of other websites and people that don't explain and are not transparent about how they're on set and where they're getting their pictures. Bespin and Jason, they let you know their process. Go ahead.
Yeah, they do a great job.
And so does might not understand. People in your chat
Meg.
might be a little bit, anyway.
Meg does a really good job as well, clarifying speculation and like fan math versus other things. And Yachty, bring back the Razor Crest. Amen. And I would love to, and I was kind of, sort of
2.0. Wow.
I was sort of putting this out there before. We know that earlier, Den had asked for another Razor Crest, and Pelimoto wasn't able to find him one yet. She was looking for one and hadn't found one, so she got this N1 for him to use. I could see them very easily tying back to that earlier point. She's been looking for one. Hey, I found one, and we're back to another Razor Crest. You got to remember, the Razor Crest is like the N1. N1 is not the ship he's flying; it's the model of ship he's flying. The Razor Crest, the one that he had, was not the ship; it was the model of ship. So he could get another N1. And I've got another person in the backstage that I'll swap you out for, Mike, in just a moment. So I'll bring you back. Yeah, hang out. We'll bring you back. I've got another question in the chat here. Darth Malik, he's got to ask. I deal with some Jedis from time to time. I know Malik. They're a bit of a burden. All right, they're constantly getting in your way. I get it. Which code do you think is better, the Sith code or the Jedi code? Oh, that's a tough question because both of them are flawed. Both of them are flawed. You see, the rule of two that Darth Bane set up, he kind of set up a problem for them, and it's why Plagueis decided to put an end to the rule of two. But the Sith code itself may be more true than the Jedi code, but the Jedi code, but it is fraught with errors. So I would say that same thing with the Jedi code, though, right? Jedi code isn't all that good. Baymax, the Hasbro will be pithing for a Razor Crest repaint with a few mods. Absolutely. Hey, we've got Rural Farm Boy. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you. Hey, so Mandalorian season 3. What are some things you liked, and if there's something you didn't like, couch it with 2 positives.
See, this is kind of funny to me because, like I said, when we were on Patreon chat, was it last month or the month before?
Yeah.
When you and me and Dawn was talking, to get to know me, like I just paused what I was listening to because I'm gonna come live chat. It sounds weird, funny, strange to me. There's not a Star Wars I don't like. So for all of the 8 chapters we got for season 3, I love them all.
That's great.
I've learned over a long, long time, and I think I mentioned that to you, is to not go. I don't go into any stories that's coming at us, whether it's audiobooks or something on screen or something on D+, whatever it is. I don't have any expectations or wants. Yeah. I hear that a lot of the time, and there's most of the time is me talking to people, talking back to people, talking to me from the past.
Right.
This didn't work or that didn't work. And expectations can sound like so many different things. And I usually end up going and saying, well, it's not the storyteller that let you down. You did that to yourself. Don't do that.
I love that. I absolutely love that because, and I don't want this to come off condescending or rude to anybody who's maybe listening to us, but I think a lot of times we come off entitled. Like, I wanted the story I had, and you gave me a different story, so I'm now mad at you for telling me a story that you didn't tell me. Right? Like,
well, once you get a hold of it's the storyteller's story to tell you. Let them tell you that story. Like I'm hearing folks saying, well, let the fans do it. If you're looking, fans are now making Star Wars.
They've been doing a lot, and they're doing fantastic stuff. That I did with my friend, the Magic Maker, is fan films are getting better and better. And when you get like Unreal Engine 5, it opens up the door to people creating even better effects that are great. And I want to say, like, it's awful presumptuous to think that you know Star Wars better than the people who are spending millions of dollars to make Star Wars.
I hear a lot of that. I'm not going to name anybody. That's not what I do.
No. But like people thinking that Jon Favreau doesn't know how to tell a story, or Dave Filoni doesn't know how to tell a story, or you know, whatever, Ryan Johnson or J.J. Abrams. Look, I think it's fair for us to criticize and say, well, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Something didn't come off well. But you made an excellent point. Let the storyteller tell you their story.
And then have fun with it.
Exactly. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. And if there are parts of it that you just like, ooh, and don't like that, you can turn. You don't have to watch it, right? You can watch other stuff.
There's other stuff.
There's plenty of things to watch.
Here's a good one that friends in the chat and everybody else that's watching too. When we went to Plaisir 15, and what I learned later on after, I think it was after I finished that, and then I put on, I want to say it was the Star Wars Sessions boys. They put out their reviews really early. I did not know that was Jack Black, and I did not know. I still to this day do not know who Lizzo is.
Oh,
I got no clue.
Well, I know who she is only because I've been exposed to it through like the Today Show and things like that, where I don't listen to her music, but I've seen her on the news, on the daytime programming in the morning. So I normally watch the Today Show when I'm getting ready and having breakfast, and I've seen her enough on that to know who she is. But I couldn't, outside of that, I wouldn't have known who she was either. So
has she been well known for a while?
Not a real long time. I'd say a couple years.
Right,
maybe 5 years.
That's kind of odd because my youngest girl and my middle girl, my youngest is she'll be a senior next year. She'll graduate. Yeah. Nice. They're both flutists, and they're very, 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 they're honors band students.
Fantastic.
So knowing who, I'm surprised that they hadn't made mention to me about it, or I would have known who she was.
Yeah, she's a flautist, and she's somewhat proficient. Like, I wouldn't put her there like the very, very top echelon of flautists in the world, but she is more than capable in playing the flute, and she's apparently a Star Wars fan. So hey, that's fine. I saw some news today. Matt Risman posted in Meg's chat that somebody else has been cast for Skeleton Crew. Jaleel White.
I'm seeing that in the Twitterverse while I was at my work day. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jaleel White's been cast for the Skeleton Crew, and Matt Risman put a fantastic quote in there. He put, did he do that like as a pirate? Like,
I think the first peek on it that I got to see was from Bespin Bulletin from Twitterverse. So
Mando season 3, and you say you really liked it. Is there anything that stands out? Like, that was a really great part.
That the Darksaber's gone. They don't need it. They don't need it. Yes, it was a part of their history for a long time. Like here in our galaxy, we lose precious pieces of our history now and again too. Yeah, it's about the person, not about the thing that you have.
Yeah, Meg's video today was really, really good about the Darksaber. Meg did a great breakdown of why having the Darksaber destroyed is so important to Mandalorians coming together as a people.
I got antsy at work because I don't have Wi-Fi. The only thing I have is my phone, and sometimes it doesn't do the best. And when it popped up, she put it up, and I thought, no, I'm not waiting until I get home to watch. I want to know what this is now. So she was in my playlist for the day, and then I shared it out like I do.
Darth Malik's got some good questions in the chat. I see you going, Darth Malik. I'm trying to stay on topic for the Mando season 3, but this is a really good question. What's your favorite Jedi character? Mine has got to be Ahsoka, and much for the same reason you talk about Bastila Shan, because she doesn't represent what the Jedi should be, but what they really are. Ahsoka, when confronted with the Jedi Code, did what was right, and she was more following the will of the Force than the Jedi Code was. And to some degree, I would maybe even, on a stretch, put Darth Tyrannus, our good friend Count Dooku. Count Dooku, to some degree, that's what separated him from the Jedi Code, because they were too locked into the code versus following the Force. And then I think he kind of got pulled away. But for me, it would be Ahsoka for sort of the same reasons that he's saying Bastila Shan. Do you have a favorite Jedi?
Favorite Jedi? That's interesting. I wasn't expecting you to pick Ahsoka. I was waiting for you to say Rey.
Oh, she's my favorite from the movies. All right, so I separate them out. Like just from the movies, it would be Rey. But favorite Jedi across the board, when you start to include some of the novels and the animated work and the live action shows, the full context of it, I would say that Ahsoka has got to be my favorite. There's some from the novels that are starting to creep up, but not quite that same level.
See, this one's tough for me because I don't favor any Star Wars anything over any other Star Wars anything. So let me see here. I'll go with, like, if somebody's going to ask me what my favorite film is, I'm just going to say, well, it will be the last one that I watched. We'll do it that way. So what was a story that I had? The last thing that I listened to was Alphabet Squadron's Victory's Price. No Jedi in there.
Right.
Go with Force User. Cheer it anyway. Or Force Feeler.
You know, I saw that question come up on another channel. Another a Star Wars content creator asked, what non-Force user, what non-Jedi would have made an excellent Jedi if they had use of the Force? And Sharut is the first one that popped in my head. Sharut would have been a fantastic Jedi if he had more access to the Force. It would have been great. Right? Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you for letting me jump on.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you jumping on. I get some of my peer group on here.
Right? Yep. Just like I always say, everybody that I listen to and my YouTube friends, you are the ones that made me make that choice to come in the Twitterverse, because I've been listening to all this stuff for years. So then I thought, well, what can I do for them? Because they're doing it for us. So how can I pay that back? So every time that I find something, I just go share it out. And like, you're missing if you ain't listening. I'm telling you.
I appreciate it.
It's so much fun.
I truly do. I truly appreciate it. And it's one of the reasons I started the channel is like, folks from our generation aren't largely creating Star Wars content on the internet.
No, they're not.
There's a handful. There's a handful, but there's not a lot of us. And so I thought, you know what? It's good to get this voice out there. Folks who were there in the theater in '77, our friends over at EBN, certainly within that age group, they tend to be more negative on the current content. So makes my voice unique amongst our peers.
Sir, your voice is very unique. Trust me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my friend, and I appreciate you being here. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you too, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, we got Mike back. Mike, you've been keeping up with it. Which
yeah, you got to have Rural Farm Boy on more.
He's great. I love him. He is fantastic. Which Jedi in Star Wars would you pick to add as a Jedi if they had access to the Force? We mentioned Sharut, right?
Oh man. Yeah, I can't think of someone. I mean, I would love if Mommy got the Force. You know, like
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma is such a like that's who I want. I want people that are on Team Rebel to have more power. I don't know. I'm thinking there. I don't know.
I would say 45, certainly 40s and up. That count in the range. Chilling in the basement. I count 40s and up. That's more or less people who grew up before the prequels. That would be in roughly the same group as us. So, Han Solo. What if Han Solo was Force sensitive? Some people think that maybe he was.
But isn't this really a discussion that we all are to a different degree, right? We're all on a spectrum of something, even if you don't understand neuropsychology or quantum mechanics. And like our collective consciousness, the Force is like in all of us, I believe, for me. So like Han, dude, he was like, that's not how the Force works, because eventually he gets it. Eventually, with perspective and time and space, we are on our own journey to our own discoveries. For me.
Hey, and Mike Porter is just days away from turning 60.
That's
Mike
impossible.
Porter, he's amazing.
He's a kid at heart.
I've been seeing his countdown to 60 on Twitter. The unfunny Mike Porter joke of the day. All of those. I follow Mike Porter on Twitter. If you're not following Mike Porter on Twitter, do yourself a favor. Go in the description of this video. Scroll down. You'll see the link to Mike Porter's Twitter. Go follow that. Go follow Mike Porter's Twitter. He's a great guy. He's well connected to everybody. And if you like dad jokes, if you like just the groaners, right? Like, oh, right. Those are the ones you need to follow Mike Porter to get those dad jokes and the unfunny joke of the day and all of that. Darth Malik says the kid at the end of Last Jedi. Oh, that's really good.
Broom boy.
The Broom Boy. That's a good point. And I know we're talking about the things that we love from Mandalorian season 3. We're going to wrap it up here soon. We've gone almost an hour, but since Darth Malik brought it up, I will go. We're talking 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. Broom Boy's going to be what, 22, 24? Something like that. Would you say that he was 7, 8, 9 years old?
He was 10, probably.
10.
9.
All right, so 10. So he's going to be 25 ish. 15 years after.
He is going to be part of the Jedi that are all around the galaxy in chaos. It's okay if the Jedi are in chaos at the beginning of the scroll of what the new movie is. Oh my God.
Well,
the Jedi are in chaos. This Rey movie scares me. Oh my God.
Well, the question is,
sorry.
Which Jedi are still out there? And a lot of people thought, well, Ahsoka must be dead because Rey heard her, and that's when Filoni said, that doesn't mean she's dead. And you go back to Luke and Leia in Empire Strikes Back, and Luke calls out to Leia, and she hears him. And they're both alive. That goes all the way back when, and you go into the Clone Wars. There's lots of times when. Like Yoda was speaking to Ezra, worlds and worlds apart, and at the same time, he was still alive. So there's all of that.
I'm just saying, like, why isn't it beautiful to imagine 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, and we meet, I don't know, 10 new people that are on their own new Force journey, and they're realizing they're Jedi or not, and then, like. The Jedi are in chaos because you don't know if I'm a Jedi or not. Maybe it's an internal chaos. Like,
and think about some of the Jedi that survived Order 66.
Yeah, how traumatized they are. They're out in space somewhere, scared.
More than that. But let's say they come across some kiddo, or they have their own kids, or they come across, down the road, and they decide to start tutoring them in using the Force and being able to control their power and making
Tutoring,
sure that
don't
they
insult
stay
my
safe.
business line.
Right? They want to make sure that they don't rise to attention to get caught by the Empire, or some Inquisitor or something. Right? So down the road, you could have new Jedi Force users.
Right.
Might be a better term, but you would have new Jedi who are raised outside, in secret, who are out there. They have understanding and use of the Force because somebody who escaped Order 66 taught them. And that could have been Cal Kestis. That could have been
Kanan was
lots of
very practiced. Kanan was very practiced at laying low as a Jedi.
yeah.
I mean,
Finn should absolutely be a Jedi by the next movie.
Grogu, again, back to Mando, 4, 5, 6. Grogu Adventures get us to the place where Grogu's ready, like Broom Boy or Finn or anybody. They're in chaos. They're all over the place because just like right now in the High Republic, we're going to get a bunch of different bad guys. Just like we're going to get in whatever new direction, X, Y, Z, Alpha, whatever direction in the space we go, Chiss space, there's going to be new people and new opportunities to talk about different Force users and what it's like. I mean, that's what I think. Again, maybe
let's not forget Grogu. Let's not forget Grogu, because Grogu is continuing to study. Meditate and practice using the Force. Grogu is going to be
Grogu may be as important to Yoda in Star Wars.
He's going to be like 50. He's going to be in that 50 range, age-wise, and he's already 50. He's going to be he's. What am I thinking? He's already 50 in the Mandoverse. He's going to be like coming up on 100, right? We're another 50 was more like 35, 15. Yeah, it's going to be like 40 years later, 40, 50 years later. So he's going to be in his 90s, pushing 100. He's going to be the equivalent of somebody in their 20s. So Grogu is going to be out there for sure. And then the new Jedi Code is going to be interesting because in an interview, Kathleen Kennedy said something to the effect of Rey's been using these texts that she acquired from Octo, and she was studying. We already saw her studying them in Rise of Skywalker. She's going to be using that, but also knowledge imparted to her by Luke. So certainly things that Luke learned, lessons he learned, lessons that that he was taught by Yoda. Oh, I've got another guest coming in. Mike, I'm going to put you in the back again.
No problem.
Hang out. I'll bring you back in just a moment. And while I do that, I have 2 Mike Porter dad jokes that I didn't use. The first one I'll put, what did the Twi'lek say about the 2-legged reptilian beast? The Mike Porter dad joke from last week. What did the Twi'lek say about the 2-legged reptilian beast? This one I actually used before. So it says, if you don't blurg them, they won't blurg you. That's the one I didn't use. What did the Rylothians say about the cultivated mold dish? What did the Rylothians, think about it, who live on Ryloth, what did the Rylothians say about their cultivated mold dish? Twi'lek, you might like it. So I've got another friend joining us, somebody we've all known for years, been present in like all of the chats, from Den of Nerds to here to you name it. I see RF Gaming Channel. I see you everywhere, my friend. Good to have you. I think it's the first time I've been able to talk to you in person.
For a while. I've been on before when I shared my Jason story.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah. I remember with your brother.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that, and thanks for joining us. Mandalorian Season 3, the topic of the day. What were some things that you liked, and if there's something you didn't like, couch it into positives. What did you have to share?
So I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad right now.
Okay.
And they can come at me. Episode 6 may have been my favorite of the season. Uh,
Oh, hot take.
aside from the finale,
Okay.
absolute hot take. And I will admit, it's more because of the cinephile side of me rather than the Star Wars side. Um, it was such an homage to police procedurals, like a completely separate genre, and they just did things that other TV shows do. That kind of like if you've ever been a fan of the show Community, almost every show like homaged just different parts of TV and movies. And for me, that was just such an amazing thing to watch in Star Wars. Um,
I truly appreciated it too. A lot of people equated it to the X-Files, Scully and Mulder,
yeah, yeah,
right? But I don't think that that's quite on point. But it's close. The Scully Mulder kind of relationship is there for sure. But they were more into weird phenomenon. This is more of a crime procedural, like you might get in CSI or in one of those shows, right?
exactly, exactly. And actually, I'm not even going to throw anything bad out there. I'm sure if I looked, I could find something bad about the season. But a few weeks back, when you guys did the show that had ranking the different Disney Plus shows, and you put uh, season 3 ahead of what was it, season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with that. And the more I think about it, season 3, I'm gonna go back and rewatch the whole thing eventually, like all seasons in order. Um, but the first season was great because it had that Star Wars feel, but it was very uh, topic of the week kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the third season, it stuck to a story for the most part. Yeah, season or episode 6 was kind of a side quest thing, but it got them to where they needed to be. And there's a lot of change if you look at what was going on at the beginning of the episode and where they ended the episode. A lot had changed. Um, so I would even say, yeah, season 3 might be my favorite season when I'm going to go back and rewatch, just because it told so much story, it expanded lore, it did a
Yeah,
lot.
it really did. It did all of that. And I'd say episode 6, in watching Meg's video today, opened it up even more to me. I had fun with it. When I watched it, the Jack Black and Lizzo part didn't take me out. I had fun. It was hilarious. And I thought they did a good job as far as like the acting in it. But more than that, I enjoyed seeing how the Empire was sort of still, even with a planet that had no like intrinsic value to the Empire, they were still having an effect on the people there, and they were still having to kind of walk on eggshells and do things covertly, but like all of that was in there. And then seeing Bo and Din uh, go on this like I guess they're solving a crime. They're solving a mystery, and they figure out who is behind it all, and they go confront it. And it's I won't go this far, but it's almost Scooby Doo ish, right? Like like if it weren't for those dang kids, but because he was actually pulling the strings from the control room.
Exactly, exactly. He probably should have muttered those darn kids.
That'd have been great. That'd have been great. So yeah, I agree with you too. The totality of the season tells a very good story, and it does a lot of world building that we need to see this part of the universe expand,
Yes.
and not just be a limited series that ends. Now we go try to find another, but now we can spin other series out. We can spin other stories out. It can be great. And chilling in the basement. I'll allow you this one because there's been so many positives. Lizzo absolutely cannot act. Well, maybe that might be.
It's funny. A friend of mine, she actually was at a Lizzo concert here in Baltimore on Tuesday night. So it's kind of ironic timing that we're talking about her now. And she played the flute at her concert. So
Oh yeah, she normally
yeah,
does. And I saw where she got on loan from, I think, it was some major museum, like
Yeah, I'd seen
uh,
that too a while back.
like a crystal flute made
Yeah.
entirely of crystal that had never been played before. And she played it on stage.
Yep.
Pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Anything else? Getting ready to wrap up the show. I appreciate you taking time to come in.
That's all I had for Star Wars. If I just could real quick say, hey, I know we got a lot of sports fans in here. I got my own little thing going on. Jabo radio show, JABO radio show. Our YouTube doesn't have a whole lot, but our Facebook does. And we got a show tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Stop on by if you feel like it. NBA round 2, NFL schedule releases. It's going to be fun.
Fantastic. So all of you who also follow sports ball, I know I call it that because that's what nerds call it. I love American football. The NCAA football is my favorite, and NFL I followed for years and years. I only follow MLB a little bit because my grandfather was a big Reds fan. He lived in West Virginia, and every time we went to West Virginia, he'd have the Reds on. And when the Reds were on, you didn't mess with Grandpa. I'm just saying. he was watching the Reds.
My family's all from Michigan, and I can remember going up there in the summer, and my grandfather, every single Tigers game, he was there in front of the TV.
Yeah, my grandfather smoked a pipe, and so he'd have that pipe going, and he's tamping it down, and he's smoking it, and then the smoke's going, and the more intensity you get, he'd be toking on that thing. It was great. I got some great memories of being in West Virginia with my grandparents, him watching the Reds through the static in the mountains with the antenna. You could partially see the screen. It was all of that. And it was great. So, and then when I lived in Indianapolis, we played at some Pacers games. So when I was in the Army band, we came out to do like the colors and all of that kind of thing, military appreciation and all of that. So I do enjoy sports quite a bit. And so tonight you're going to be talking about the NFL schedule.
Yeah, the NFL schedules releases at 8:00. We will be talking more Ravens than anything else, but we'll look at the big important games and NBA playoffs. It's going to be fun.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for joining. And that's you guys can find JABO radio show and on YouTube. On YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you look out for RF Gaming. Thank you again for joining. Thanks so much.
Anytime. Thanks, Santa.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. That was great. That was absolutely great. I love it. Another hot take, much like Santa. And I know my friends give me a hard time about it, but I stand by it. Rey is a better character in the movies than Anakin. And the reason I say that is because Anakin was never likable, in my opinion. I never liked him. And so he was an annoying little kid. And then he was an annoying teenager, and then he was Darth Vader. So, who cares? No, I broke Mike. I saw that.
No, it's fine. It was. I love. I love you, man. All of our opinions matter, and you had great guests on the show today. It's too much. I mean, we shouldn't even call it a show because being in these moments with Star Wars fans is the real deal.
It is the real deal. And
RF is in your Discord. RF is always posting in the Sports Vengers thread in the tower. If you're a Nerd Venger, check out Sports Vengers and Audio Vengers today. I got my Chewbacca Daft Punk shirt on. See, I like the synchronicities of the Force. So
look, when we get together as Star Wars fans, and I mentioned this when I was at the Indianapolis or the Indiana Comic Con, people can tell you've got terrible hot takes, and that's why it's called a hot take. But people could do that, and you can laugh at each other and say, you're dumb. But we're Star Wars fans, and I love you. Right? It's just great.
And the hugs are dope. It doesn't matter if they are like an angry fanboy and they've got a whole jar full of tears, dude. The fist bump, the Star Wars love is real. It
is real.
Get out there and socialize and talk to people. And
those people that thought my hot take was dumb, They still love to get in their Star Wars Santa pin. I gave it.
Oh,
Yeah.
now
These are
how limited is that run? Like seriously, how limited is that run?
well. I can have them recreated. I bought 100 of them to start it. I got
No,
100.
you want to keep it limited.
And I when I run out, I may order another 100, but it's just going to be the only way you can get these is you have to see me in person. You have to get it from my hand to yours. That's the only way to get them. You can't order them on the internet. You can't get them online. You can't get them from a merch store. You have to get it from my hand to yours. That means you met me in person. And if somebody sees that Star Wars Santa pin on somebody's lanyard or on their apron, I gave it to a lady at Starbucks. She got really excited to see Santa, and she was a big
We're
nerd. She
living the
loves Star
dream,
Wars.
dude. It's too
And
much.
so you see,
It's almost too much. I
you run
love it.
into. Thank you, Mike. You too. And if you see somebody with one of these pins, you know that they actually got it from my hand, and that's an exciting thing. We have one more Mike Porter dad joke. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. And Mike, I can't thank you enough for making yourself available to join us on these member streams. It's great. It's absolutely
We
great.
as Guardians have a big responsibility and ethic to each other as a community and to Star Wars. So I'm so grateful and humbled to be on the Guardians anytime I can be here.
I appreciate it. So here we go. The last Mike Porter dad joke of the day. What idea and name was rejected when the evil empire built a moon-sized weapon that emitted deadly gases? So it's a chemical warfare, not a chemical warfare. What was the name that was rejected when the empire built the moon-sized weapon that emitted deadly gases? It was called a bad breath star. Bad breath star. Mike Porter, thank you so much for your dad jokes. I appreciate your friendship as well, and your constant everlasting support.
Yeah, man, he's got so much grace, and we're so blessed for his energy that Mike Porter sends out to everybody. I mean, him and Madonna, look what people do at 60. It's amazing.
Hey, and Roll Farm Boy just let us know. My friend Jason Ward over at MakingStarWars.net, he'll be going live in 15 minutes. So
Hail Landhead.
You got enough time to take a break from here. Go get yourself a refreshment, stretch your legs, and join my friend Jason Ward over at MakingStarWars.net at the top of the hour. Jedi Mike, once again, thank you so much for being here. And if you want to hang out and talk a little bit afterwards, feel free. If you want to go, you can do that too. But
we'll hang.
Okay. Well, again, thank you all for being here. You see the names going by back here. All of our Patreon supporters, all of our YouTube members. You guys keep it real. You guys keep this channel going, and you allow me to do this. I'm so appreciative. I love this community. You help me out more than you know. And if you would like to help support the channel by joining us on Patreon, there's a way over there that you can submit questions and topics that we will bring into future live streams. And I've also been putting recordings of the Darth Plagueis novel. We're in part 3. We're going to try to wrap that up soon and get on to Thrawn very soon. So if you'd like to support us on Patreon, you can get some of that exclusive content that's not available anywhere else just by supporting us there. And you'll find the link to do that in the description here below. So once again, thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Yes, Mike Porter, tomorrow we should be able to cover the news of the day. There's been some news that come out in the last day or so. The Big Empire magazine article dropped, so we'll talk about that, and hopefully we'll get my friends Jason Ward and Star Wars Meg to join me tomorrow, and we'll do that. So I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Thanks for hanging out with me. You've made my day better. I hope I've been able to make your day better, and I can't thank you enough. Until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.